Regular meeting, zoning board of appeals, August 11th, Saugatuck, Michigan. Ryan, roll call, please.
Certainly, Mr. Chair, thank you. Kabaziak is excused.
Yes.
Bont,
Here.
Bauk,
Here.
Muir,
Here.
Crawford. McPullins excused. Hunriser,
Here.
you're with a quorum, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you very much. I hope everyone's had a chance to look over the agenda and anything else. So ask for if there are any agenda changes. And I have been presented with one change, and that is number B under new business, the 640, 650 Water Street setback and use is going to be pushed over to September.
That's
Okay.
correct, Mr. Chair. The applicant for the the item 4B, 640, 650 Water Street setback and use, they've asked to postpone that item. And so I'd request that you strike that from the agenda for this evening.
Okay.
So folks that are here for that particular item, 640, 650 Water Street, that is not going to be addressed this evening. The applicant's going to come back at a later date.
Okay, thank you very much. We need a roll call vote on change of the agenda.
Do we need a motion to change the agenda?
Oh,
Yes,
yes, we do. I'm sorry.
Move that we change the agenda to delete the item of business for 640 and 650 Water Street. Postpone that until the applicant reapplies.
please. 1 second, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Okay,
We will give it to Jim Hunriser, who is our alternate. It's probably his first action on the ZBA. Good job.
thanks, Jim.
You're looking for a motion in favor?
Roll call.
Oh, roll call.
Roll call, please. Yes.
Bont,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes,
Muir,
Yes.
Hunriser.
Yes.
4-0, you got it.
All right, thank you very much. If you looked over the minutes of the last zoning of June 9th, I was not here. So if there are any changes that you can see in that particular meeting notes.
Mr. Chairman, I am the only person who was at that meeting who was present in tonight's meeting. I move that we postpone the approval of minutes until the next meeting.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Mears. Okay. We have to have a vote on that again, please.
Bont,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes,
Muir,
Yes.
Hunriser.
Yes.
Okay, so,
Oh, table the motion to approve the minutes.
yeah,
until
so
next
you
month.
just move those minutes to next month's meeting. So we'll now look at new business. First one on new business is 1034 Holland Street. And if there is anyone here that is here to present that, please give me state your name. And
Mr.
Hi,
Chair-
it's Mike Scott. I'm
One
sorry.
second, I'm sorry. Mr. Chair, I think it's appropriate at this time to open the public hearing. We do have Chris Patterson, our attorney, on our Zoom. Chris, you're muted. At this point, it's appropriate to open the public hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, we can open the public hearing. And then it looks like you could start with the presentation, although I do see that typically your hearing procedure does start with the presentation first, then the public comment. So I'm not opposed to either allowing the applicant to speak or opening the public comment, or I'm sorry, opening the public hearing portion. And then allowing the summary by Ryan and then the presentation. And I think at the bottom of your agenda, there is sort of a list that kind of identifies those actions for purposes of your public hearing procedure.
Okay, so if you can hear me on that, even though the public hearing comments are later on, that you can open at any time. Is that correct?
Yes, we can open the public hearing by order of the chair. And then, of course, I think in typical fashion, you would then look to Ryan to present exactly what the request is before the ZBA. And then at that point, I think you'd want to turn it over to the applicant.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Well, then as the chair, I will open the hearing, the public hearing. All right, at this time. And at this time also, if there is someone here for 1034 Holland Street,
Presentation by the zoning
That-
administrator.
oh, excuse me. If we follow that procedure, then you have to have a summary of the zoning administrator's recommendation first.
Yeah, and just to give the audience just a brief outline of the public hearing procedures. The chairman just called the public hearing open, 7:06. I'll give a brief summary of the applicant's application. And then the applicant will provide their summary. And then we'll get into public comment. We ask that the participants identify themselves by name and address. Comments will be addressed to the chairman, 5 minutes. And then we don't have any supporting documents that we received on this particular issue. And as far as in writing, and then you'll just have your deliberation and go on about your business. So let me please go into the background on this application for the height variance.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, presentation by the applicant.
Oh, sorry, let me just give a brief background.
What's that?
I'm gonna
Presentation by
give
the
a-
zoning administrator.
I'm gonna
I
give,
thought he just,
oh, that was just a layout of the rules. Now I'm gonna
okay,
give a
Ryan, give me.
a very brief
summary
background.
then.
Yes, sir. All right, so we have a property located in the commercial district, our residential R1 zoning district. We have a plat that was recorded in 1971 when the city was then a village by the state. There've been some adjustments to the lot line adjustments to deal with some access and easements. The lot is slightly larger than it used to be, but they have some topography issues that they're dealing with. 2019, I believe it's the same property. ZBA granted a similar variance, but that property was sold at the time, and so the variance would have expired on this property. The applicant proposes to demolish an existing house, build a new house, approximately 32.5 feet in height, where a maximum of 20 feet is allowed, and a peak height of 34 feet, 9 inches, where the maximum height is 32 feet. So you're gonna go through your standards of review.
Yes.
But that just lays out the framework. Chris, do you have anything to add?
I do not.
Okay, great.
All right. Well, in that case, then, we will take a look at the presentation by the applicant. Sorry for all that. If you'd state your name, please, then.
Hi, my name is Mike Scapp on behalf of the owners, the James, and basically presenting to you a project that is a two-story home, and because of the very steep slope that we are dealing with on the channel side of the home, we are fair ways down the hill with the lower walkout part of it. And by the time we measure from that very low part up to our peak, even with a very low pitched roof, we're asking for this 2'10" over the typical allowed height, just because of that slope that's adding to our height, if you will. Do you guys have the plans, or are you privy to those? Or okay.
Yes.
And so I could answer any questions about that if you would like. I think our dimensions on the side elevations are pretty clear, where our lowest grade is, where our, call it, upper grade is, and then where our average grade is, and then our measurement up to the peak. We've done a very low pitch roof to keep it as low as possible. Again, it's just that the slope is steep, so it brings us into a little bit higher than normal.
Mike, is that the average, okay, I see, all right.
Mhm. South elevation, shows it very well, and then as does the north.
Okay, it's also up on the board there,
Oh, there you go.
okay.
614. What, just want to confirm the height of the house when viewed from the street.
Okay.
The numbers
Excuse me.
are awfully small.
Yeah,
So your top of foundation is, if that's 614, 9 7/8, and the very peak of the roof being at 640, so 30. Let me see here, 614.
you have 16, 9/16, and you just have an upper level, which is
Yeah, 26.
636, 2 7/8 or
Yeah, it
something.
looks like 26 feet, 614 to 640. Mhm.
But it looks like that from that area, you still have a little extension above where that dot is. I'm just drawing a line across here. Mike, from where you have that, which is right there, you have this upper area here yet?
Those are just dimension lines. This is the highest part of the peak.
That's this one right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay. Gotcha.
So when viewed from the street, it's fully compliant.
That's my understanding. Quite honestly, we were just working with the overall height from the, from the low, from the average grade to the very top, but we
Yeah.
weren't looking at it from the street. I'm sorry about that. Somebody else might be able to tell me that, but I know in talking to Cindy, that was the only thing that we were looking at was that as far as.
That is the standard. I'm just trying to put it in perspective for people driving down the street,
Okay,
which would be the place that most people view it. Otherwise, you can only view it from a boat.
sure, understand.
So 614 to 636.
So that would be in compliance, Jim, on that?
Okay, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Anybody else have any other questions?
I just have a comment. It's a very complete package. Thank you.
Yeah, it is done very well.
Oh, thank
Jim-
you.
Jim, any other questions you may have for Mike?
Clear.
Okay, Mike, thank you and if we have any other questions during our deliberation, we will address you at that time. Okay.
Very
if you
good,
have any
thank you.
questions. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so we close this here now.
We're in the public comments.
Okay, any public comments? Please address yourself, please, and
Let us know where you live.
let us know where you live.
My name is Gary Kemp. I live at 1022 Holland Street, which is a lot on Holland Street next door to where this properties is. And I also own the cottage at 1026 Holland Street, which is right next door to where the new cottage will be built. And I want to say that I fully endorse this project. It fits aesthetically and architecturally so much better than the prior project, which was approved. Its variance was approved. It's no higher than that project was in terms of from the street. It's going to fit so much better in a neighborhood. In the process, what's happened there is we've ended up taking 3 lots and he's making 2 lots out of it, my cottage lot and his cottage lot. So we're doing away with what was called the green cottage that used to sit there at 1034. So we're taking 3 cottages and turning it into 2 and 2 lots and simplifying the whole thing. So I'm very, very supportive of it, much more even, and I was supportive of the other cottage as well, because I thought it would improve the values in the neighborhood and all, but this will make it even better because it ties in the property all the way up to Holland Street into that property and makes 2 instead of 3 cottages back there. So it cleans up all kinds of easement issues and other things that are unbelievably complicated. So I endorse it fully and, you know, as being the neighbor with the most. The other thing I had to say is the new house that's being built there is even higher than this house, I believe. It's very high and it was approved. So I don't see any reason why you wouldn't.
Which new house, Gary?
The house at 1050.
Oh,
New
okay.
house at 1050.
Correct. I see the one, that's be like almost next to you?
Yeah, well, it's kind of here and then this
Okay.
house will be on the
Gotcha.
water and then my cottage and then my residence
right.
here. So, and it's even taller, I believe, and it was approved. So I don't see any reason why you wouldn't approve this.
Okay. I do remember back in 2019, I looked back and your comments were in favor of what we did then. If that, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank
And-
you.
But this is a whole lot better
Whole lot
solution.
better. Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you very much, Gary. Any other public comments opposing for anything?
And I'm not, Mr. Chair, I'm not seeing anything on Zoom either.
You don't
So
have anything either? Okay. In that case, then we will close the public comments, everything else, and we will go into our deliberation. And take a look at each one of our 4 requirements. Before we do that, are there any questions? Jim got 3 Jims. It's a Jim.
Are there any questions, Jim?
Any questions, Jim?
I have no questions.
No, just,
My only question is, when you approved this 3 years ago, similar story, similar concept, all met.
a lot, yes, absolutely. If you go back and check back in the files. And I don't know if Ryan did it or not, but I was just looking at some of my comments that they're very similar. Even the house was designed, I mean, they're 2 different designs, and I think Gary brought that up very, very well, and so did Mike. And what Jim said too is very important, that when you go down the street, that level of what you see from the street is in compliance, yes. And I think that's very important. The other thing that I would comment is the whole process, what they're doing. Taking 3 lots and making it 2 lots. I don't know if that's relevant to this, but when you look at facts of finding what has gone on for this application, at least it's there. So we need to go through our 4 dimensional variances here. And I don't know who would like to take the first one. Mr. Meir, shall we just go around the board here?
Mr. Chair, if I can
Yes,
just
sir.
offer a couple of comments. You do have staff comments on each of these items. I will mention that these are comments that came from Cindy Osmond and Dave Jurassic, who is the planning and zoning consultant. They're very neutral, so they shouldn't influence you one way or the other. They just took a very practical review of the issue, just for the record.
So, okay, I wonder, as I noticed that, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Jim, would you take the first one, please?
Sure. The statement is that there's strict compliance with area setbacks, frontage, height, bulk, or density. And would they unreasonably prevent the owner from using the property for a permitted purpose, or would render conformity unnecessarily burdensome? And so there were some comments by staff, and as they mentioned, it is a permitted use. The setbacks are met. And I think, as Jim highlighted earlier when he was talking to the presenter, that the view from the street is going to be very complementary to the neighborhood. It's not going to stand out because the height is going to be considerably less at
Okay,
the street level and at the channel level. So I think their application has met
okay.
this standard.
All right. Jim, you want to take the second
Sure.
one?
That a variance would do substantial justice to the owner as well as to other property owners in the district, or whether a lesser relaxation would give substantial relief and a more consistent with justice to others. As the architect pointed out, the owner would work to lessen the proposed height to the lowest possible level without compromising the floor plan or other homes in the area.
Okay,
It's in compliance with,
okay.
meets that.
So you feel good about that one, all right? Yeah, it was a little interesting about some of the heights and that Jim brought out, that if you looked at where that is on there, was it only 26 feet or something from 613 to,
I don't remember the.
I don't remember the numbers there either, so,
I think it's about
But that is in
24 feet from
compliance,
the
yeah.
front. From the
Okay.
front of the house, it's about 24 feet.
yeah. The third one, that the plight of the owner is due to unique circumstance of the property and not to general neighborhood conditions. If you take a look at that bank of that hill, it's unique. I mean, the shape, the size, everything. And I think that Mr. Sharp has put a design together with the family that fits the circumstances of the lot itself and the way it was plotted back in 1971, or how it was set up at that time. I think he's done a fine job on that, so I would say that it met. Jim, you want to take the fourth one, please?
Sure, that the problem is not self-created or based upon personal financial circumstances. This situation is created by the platters of the subdivision, which preceded the zoning, and is not based on personal financial circumstances. Obviously, the applicants are spending a good amount of money to make this a nice home that does fit in well within the requirements and within the neighborhood. It'll be an add to the neighborhood. It does complement the neighborhood, and the home, it does complement the lot with a lower level walkout. So I think that the standard has been met.
Okay, all right. So if we take a look at all of those, if there's any other general comments that anybody wishes to make on that or anything, if not, then we need to have a proposal,
How about a motion?
motion. Possible motion, okay?
I like
I
motions.
would move to approve the application V 220006 for a new house at 1034 Holland Street with an average height of not more than 32.5 feet, resulting in a variance of 4.5 feet and a maximum peak height of 34.75 for a variance of 2.75 feet. The proposed home will meet all the setback requirements, and the staff report shall be attached to the minutes and become part of the findings of fact.
Okay,
I second the motion.
seconded by Bout.
Discussion,
We need,
any discussion?
I asked for discussion before, but if you want to have any other discussion,
You
you
just discuss the motion, but
discuss the motion, but any changes or anything you want to make to the motion?
I don't know if you want to turn to your attorney, Mr. Chair, to see if he has any comments on the motion.
Who's that?
The attorney, if you want to turn to the
Oh.
attorney, to see if he has.
Is it
Chris, yeah.
Chris? Any comments on or changes on the motion?
As I understand it, the motion did incorporate the staff report with your findings.
Yes, it did.
Okay, yeah, I heard. I don't have any comments on the motion.
Oh, good. Thank you. Chris, now since we have you like that, I didn't know that. So thank you, Ryan. I will refer to you by all means. Knowing that there are no other changes or anything else on the motion, we need to have a roll call on that, please, then, sir.
Bont,
Yes.
Bauk,
yes,
Muir,
Yes.
Hunriser.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion is passed. So Mike, I guess, what do we have? How many days before you, are you starting this soon, or do we need to have you come back another 2 or 3 years again?
No, we're hoping to start sometime maybe mid-fall. And so we're working hard at getting the plans all wrapped up. You know, we need to make sure that we were good here, and then we're going to move forward on that. We've got some budgeting to do, and then they're ready to start. So I appreciate it, gentlemen. I appreciate your being professional about this. So
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for putting together a package and program where we can see it, and it looked very well.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
You too.
So, knowing that that is done, is there any unfinished business? Mr. Ryan, any other unfinished business?
Not that I'm aware of,
that you
Mr.
know
Chair.
of?
Not that I'm
Okay.
aware of. Thank you.
All right, any other communications that we need?
None.
Public is gone, so it means no other comments. ZBA
No
comments
one on
Just a
Zoom.
on Zoom.
There's no one on Zoom?
No one on Zoom? Okay. Any other comments that you folks need to make?
Chris, thank you for being here.
Yes, Chris, thank you for being here, and
Chris will be here next week.
you are here
month,
next
though.
week
Next month.
or next month. And Chris can, just a comment, if there are big changes and things that are done for this new thing that we have moved from here till next month, I would at least like to have us get at least a week notice, all right, of any changes on their application, so we can prepare appropriately as they have prepared for another month.
Sure. Can I also comment on one action earlier? I wanted to comment during the ZBA comments, I guess, to leave at the end of the meeting. The one thing that I was wondering, Jim, I heard you indicate that you were the only one that had been available for the minutes.
Previous meeting, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible to reconsider that motion and approve those minutes if you're comfortable doing so, just to the extent that typically we try to approve minutes under the Open Meetings Act at the next regular meeting following the meeting that they were prepared for. That was sort of my only comment. If that was possible to reconsider that, we could take those minutes up and approve those.
Is it,
So sorry if I may.
is it acceptable for people who were not at the meeting to vote on the motion to approve those?
It would be acceptable for them to vote on the motion to approve those. Clearly, they may not have any corrections, but it would be appropriate for them to take action as a part of the quorum to approve those.
And what would be the appropriate way to reconsider that?
We could do one of two things, I think, for purposes of maybe not getting as close to Robert's rules as possible. The person who made the motion, we could have that person make the motion, be the motion maker to reconsider, have a vote on that pass, and then basically someone make a motion to then take those minutes back up to approve them with any edits that are necessary.
Okay,
I think you made the original motion. I think Mr. Mira seconded the motion to
Yeah.
table.
so I move that we reconsider the motion to postpone approving the minutes from the last meeting.
Say again?
I move that we reconsider
Oh,
the
sure.
previous motion
And I'll second that.
to postpone approving the minutes from the last meeting.
Chris, is this working out for us?
Yes, perfect. If we take a vote on that, we can then.
Yes, we have to take a vote on everything.
In a second, right? From the one who seconded. Jim?
I second it.
Yep, that'll work.
The person that originally passed the motion. So that would be Mr.
I'll
Mira.
second that.
Thank you.
Okay,
We have to vote to get it back active, and
Yeah.
then we have to
Yes,
vote on the.
yeah.
active minutes.
So we got a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
no.
Oh, sorry, roll call.
Roll call.
Font,
Yes,
Bauk,
yes,
Muir,
Yes.
and Dreiser.
Yes.
okay.
All
now-
right,
Okay,
now
now-
we're
Now
back
we
to
make
square
it up.
one.
now, I
Okay.
move that we approve the minutes as presented from the previous meeting, which was conducted on June the 9th, 2022.
Second.
Bont,
Yes.
Bauk,
Yes.
Muir,
Yes.
and Reiser.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I guess there is, if there's any other comments or anything else. We're done.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris. We'll see you later.
Have a good evening. Yeah.
Bye.
Chris, see you next month,
If not sooner.
if not sooner.
Okay, you'll see either me or Jake. One of us will put it on our calendars.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.